Good.
Sunt în Zoom!
Da, Dina, ești pe Zoom.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Suntem precum personajul din carte, Perseverență.
Okay, it's good.
Magda. Try English, Magda, for all of us to understand.
Sorry.
That's fine. Good. Thank you for being here, David.
Thank you, Liv. Nice to see you again.
Well, we usually start this meeting by sharing our experience of reading, but I don't know, maybe somebody would love to share this. It was a challenge. It was really hard to find your book in Romania this time, but everyone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but everyone here was anxious to read it. So I'm wondering if somebody would love to share this in a minute or two.
Share what, Liv? What should we share?
The experience of reading the book.
Okay. So I can do that. I can do that if you want. So even if I'm maybe not the representative really, because I am Romanian, but I live in Sweden. So anyway,
Okay.
the book I could find directly from books from Apple, downloading it via Apple Books. So I normally do that with most books if I find it either on Apple Books or on the other one, whatever it's called now. Anyway, so for me, this book was how do you say? What is the expression? It's a bit of fresh air or something like that. I can't remember now the expression in English, but anyway, it was very, very nice for me to read this book because I would say first that I am a happy person, more or less like you, David, because I've heard also the podcast that you recorded with Liv, and for me it was, wow, there are these people around. So it was nice for me to live through the experience of Daniel and kind of finish this book in a positive note. I have to admit that at the beginning I was a little bit puzzled because I'm not at all a statistical person, a data person. So for me it was like, oh my God, what is this? You know. But then as soon as the story advanced and, you know, I figured out who was who and what was going on, I really liked it. And at the end, I have to say that I had a passage that I really liked, which was in relation with this lady in Switzerland that they went to help. And she said something to the effect that she doesn't like to have hopes because hopes lead to loose ends, and who wants to live a life full of loose ends? That was a passage which made me really think about, made me think, yeah, a little bit, and I really liked it. And also what I would like to mention was that I recognized somehow in this book a bit of this Latin spirit, and I don't know if it was your intention or not, but for me this was, you know, this a bit romantic kind of exercise that they had, that they went to help this lady. All of them, you know, went for a couple of thousand kilometers just to help one lady. And for me, this is more to do with our Latin spirit, and you know, at least I interpreted it that way. I don't know if it was your intention, but maybe this is a question to you, David, if it was something to do with that, because for me, after 5 years in living in Sweden, I know that for sure they will not do something like that here. So this is why I'm saying this. But maybe a question to you, David, would be whether you had something like that in mind in relation with this pursuit of happiness, or, you know, bringing up happiness to someone in need.
Well, thank you so much for everything that you said. I'm very happy that you liked the book, and I'm very happy to find someone that shares the same optimism that I do have. Well, regarding to that episode where they go to Switzerland to help this lady, actually, it's interesting. I never thought it as a Latin thing, but it may be. It's probably a Latin thing that it's just very inside of me, and in the way that we were brought up in this Portuguese culture, and I'm sure that in Romania as well. My first idea for the novel, my first few ideas for the novel, I had a couple of characters, and I had a few situations, and but the most important thing was this trip that they do to help this lady, and for me the novel was about that, and then I just started writing everything that had to happen so that they would do this trip, and then all that happens before the trip ended up being the novel, and the trip is only the last part of the novel. But I wanted to get that very fast, because for me that's maybe that's the most important decision that we have to make when regarding to this regarding to everything that happens around happiness, because I really believe, as the novel in a sense shows, that happiness depends a lot on the context that we are in. So we cannot be. I really believe that we cannot be happy if people around us are not happy. The happiness of other people makes us happy as well. So human beings, well, from the beginning of humanity, have this. In their DNA, they have this thing about helping each other and about cooperating, and that's one of the main reasons that for which we have not died yet as a species, because we learn to cooperate. We have this in our genetic code, and in that cooperation we have help as well. So what does it mean to help someone else, and how far are we willing to go to help someone else? I think that what they do in the novel, it's quite a stretch. I don't think many people, well, in the world, not just the Latin world, but in the world, would go so far as travel 2,000 kilometers to help just one person. But well, that's the how can I put it, the novelistic part of the story. But that was also very personal for me, because I always found that helping someone takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of you. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's boring, sometimes you really want to go and do something else. But then we have this thing that pushes to help someone, and I really wanted to think about that decision that we have to make more or less every day. Every day we are put in front of situations where we need to help someone, either when it's a little help or if it's a really big help. But I that really interested me, and I don't have any answers for this. Literature for me, it's not a way of finding answers. It's just a way of thinking about things. And I can say that about when I'm reading a book, but when I'm writing a book as well. So I just wanted, when I was writing this novel, I just wanted to think about happiness and hope and optimism and helping someone else. Yes, but thank you for your question.
Thank you so much. It was a very lovely book. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It seems to me that we are in the right place because it's full of happy people here. I've started pretty abruptly because I know you have a personal event to attend to. So I'm going to make the most of your staying here with us. So if you don't mind, I'm going to keep this direct contact between you.
Sure.
And I have Magda here with a question.
Hello.
Hello.
I just wanted to thank you for writing this book. It was a pleasure for me to read it. It reminded me of Savage of Guillermo, because I felt that it was the same. It was like a marathon. All the trip that the character I don't know how to say, to be obligat.
Forced.
Yeah, was forced to go to, and it felt that the character hadn't time to breathe. And what I most loved the book was that it was a book about kindness and happiness and hope. But the funniest thing about happiness is that you don't know when you have it, but you know for sure when you don't. So when the character is on the edge of losing all the things that were important for him, he knows for sure how he felt it before that point. And it felt so good to read a book full of hope and perseverance. It felt like in this moment I can do anything. And it inspired me to think that if a person like that had all that challenges got through it and discovered what is most important for him, it is possible for all of us to succeed and to discover what is important in our life, what is important, not the things that we want to to have. And excited to have read this book. It was really important for me. And I just want to say one more thing that I read just before this Zoom. It was a story about two wolves that were fighting in the forest, and one was despair and darkness, and the other was hope and light. and the question was which wolf will survive in the end, and the answer to the question is the one that you feed. So it felt like it resumed the message of your book. And I don't have any questions for you because I have all the questions in the world for you. But I just want to say thank you. And you did a great job for all your readers. And I'm such a big fan. Thank you very much. And sorry for my English.
It was perfect English, Magda.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Yes, it was. It was. Thank you so much for your kind words. I'm thrilled that that the novel had this this impact on you. The thing is that well, it's always very difficult to talk about human beings because we are such a complex creature. In the sense that, as I said before, we have all this background of thousands of years where we had this evolution, and that is so so deep inside our genetic code in the way that we are, and because of that, we have survived. So, for example, one of the reasons that made us survive is that we are always wanting something, and because we always wanted something, we always had this urge to go hunting and to go collect food and all that, and we always want more, and that's why we got to a certain point of our history where we could gather more than we needed, so we could develop more fast. But then that has another. I wouldn't say it's negative. It could be a negative effect on us, but it's certainly a different effect on us, which is we are always wanting more. So when we got to a point in our history where we do have a lot of comforts. We don't need to go hunt for food every day, but in fact we are always wanting more than the comfort that we already have. We already have a roof over our heads. We already have warm clothes. We already have food very easily with very easily access. But we do always want more, and that makes us not satisfied. So we are actually a creature. We could define human beings as a creature that it's never satisfied. We are never, ever satisfied. Even when we say, okay, now it's good, now the sun is setting and there are beautiful colors, I'm here with my loved one and with my children, everything it seems perfect, but deep inside we are not satisfied, and we have to live with that. We have to deal with that. So we always have this. It seems like we are always living in a limbo, like in the edge of falling, because we are always wanting something that's not there, and so we are always a little bit sad and depressed because we don't have what we want, but we are trying to be okay with what we got, and that is the most difficult thing to achieve, I would say, in life, because I mean, a lot of people have success. I mean, the world, it's not in a good place right now. But if we can compare the world right now with the world, I would say 400 years ago, we are so much better. even with the war in the Ukraine, even with the I don't know, with the pandemics that we had a few years ago, even with all that, we are so much better, and it's very important that we can relativize things, or to compare us with the others, us with 100 years ago. We have to find our place in history and in the planet, and everything is much better than it was before, but still we are not satisfied, and that's very well, that's very sad actually. But well, just for saying that with this book, I really wanted to think about this man. That could be any person, actually, and I wanted to find out if he could actually be okay with what he had, and not with all these plans that he had for himself.
Adina left us some questions in the chat, so I'll take this opportunity to remind all of you that you can leave your questions in the chat and I'll just pass them to David as soon as possible. But until I get to Adina's question, I have one for myself. Actually, it's on behalf of the community, I guess. Many of the readers told me that your book was an opportunity for them to discover a new reality of Portugal, actually, a new perception. I mean, we see Portugal as this sunny culture and happy culture, and then again you use this context of pandemics and offered us a completely new approach. And I was wondering if you have this kind of feedback from other kind of readers. I don't know, I know you meet your readers and you like to have feedback from them, how they I don't know, receive this new Portugal from you.
Well, you mean outside of Portugal?
Yeah, outside of Portugal.
Well, outside of Portugal, usually people are very interested in the politics in Portugal, which in a sense has to do with what you're saying. I mean, people only know Portugal, well, at least in the past 10, 15 years, people only know Portugal for the tourism, for the leisure part. So for the beaches and for the sun, for the food and the restaurants, which is all true. I think it's a more or less accurate view on what happens here. But of course, like any other country, we also have everything else, the sociological problems and political problems and economical, very, very big economical problems. Portugal, in the past 15 years, had a really big, how can I say, a big increase in the tourism. So we have millions of people coming here every year, and so we always have, and because we are such a small country, I mean, you can actually feel the tourism all around us, especially here in Lisbon, where I live. And so we always have this sense of being in kind of a party, because there's always things going on around in this city, especially in Lisbon, where we have festivals and we have restaurants and bars and parks and all that, and everything is very crowded nowadays. But because the tourism had this big increase in such a fast way, the prices went up very fast as well, and Portuguese people are not being able to accompany that rise of the prices. So actually, for Portuguese people, things aren't going that well, and politically, we're a little bit unstable right now. We are going to have elections in a couple of months, and the far right is rising quite a bit here in Portugal. For many years, we weren't following what was happening in a lot of European countries, but right now we are having that. So although this novel was written, I don't know, 15 years ago, 14 years ago, and it was about the economic crisis of 2010, more or less, where the economic crisis in half of the world, at least, in Europe as well. Although it's about that, I think it still remains very, I can't remember the word. It's about what's happening nowadays still. It's about because the book, it's about a man in crisis in a situation of crisis. And the crisis, we always have situations of crisis. So I know, for instance, that my novel got many new readers during the pandemic, because during the pandemic, people could relate to Danielle again. And now here in Portugal, we are again having some problems with the economy, and with, for example, the prices of housing. Are over the top, and people aren't able to pay such high rents, and so again the novel makes a lot of sense for a lot of readers. So in a way, I never thought that this novel, that in this novel I was writing about Portugal and about the economic situation of Portugal. But of course, after publishing the book, I could understand that people were learning about what's happening here in Portugal, and yes, a lot of people in many countries are very interested in the politics and the economy here in Portugal, and in the way that the novel represents that.
I don't know if you can see the questions in the chat, so I'm just going to read them to you, if that's okay.
Okay.
Evelina has a question. I'll start with her. I liked how the Almodovar character was built. For me, it looks like the unknown, even unreal critic that we have inside. And she's interested in your perspective.
Okay. Well, for me, the three friends are all me, actually. I think I was able to split myself, my personality in three ways, and I think I'm all three of those friends, and some of in some things they are even opposite to each other, their personalities. But I'm like that. Everybody's like that. So I can be very analytical, like Xavier, but also very impulsive, like Almodovar is when he goes and robs that shop. Well, I don't think I could ever rob a shop, but in a situation of crisis, I mean, you do things that you never thought you would do. And so yes, he's Almodovar, and his impulsiveness, but also his shame I thought he was a lot like me in that sense that when he was arrested, he didn't want to see his friends or his family because he's just ashamed of what he did. Yeah, so I mean, I can't even say which character I like the most because they are all me.
And you love all your children, right?
Yes.
Like a good father you are. Adina wants to know if you hide any secrets in your books that only a few people will find.
Well, I don't think I do it on purpose, but I do go and get a lot of little stories from reality around me, but I don't do it on purpose. It's just things that I like and that interest me, and so I use them, and some of them only a few people know what really happened. In this book in particular, I can't remember. I mean, this book, this novel has dozens of little stories that I heard about when I was writing the novel and before, because I really wanted to talk about this economic crisis that we were living in, and also sociological crisis. And so for a couple of years before writing the novel, I was collecting all these stories, gathering all these stories that people would tell here in Portugal, but I'm sure they would tell this kind of stories in other countries as well, that had to do with the crisis. So about people who were losing their jobs, about people who were losing their houses, about people who were living in their workplace. I mean, all these stories that are in the book are actually very, very much true. I mean, I heard dozens of stories like those, and so in this book in particular, it's very difficult for me to find something secret in this story, because I think it's full of that kind of secrets. It's about a lot of characters that I met during those years.
Mm-hmm. I'm still waiting for your questions, guy, because David is going to be with us for 20 more minutes. And I have one more from Adina. How important are book reviews? And I don't know if...
Sorry?
The book reviews, how important are they for you?
Actually, they are very important. Not that if they like the book or if they don't like the book, but I think that literary critics, I mean, and when I say literary critics, I'm actually talking about someone that is kind of an expert in literature and has read a lot and has written a lot about literature. And I think it's very important that we have these people thinking and writing about books, because it's not in any way a matter of liking the book or not liking the book. It's just thinking about the book. What is this book? What questions does the book come up with? Is it presenting the right questions? Is it developing those questions in an interesting way? And all that, I think it's not just a matter of saying the book is good or the book is bad. And here in Portugal, we have this system that we have, most countries have in most newspapers, where they give stars to the books. So you get 1 star or 2 stars or 5 stars. And of course, I love when I get 5 stars for one of my books, but But really, I'm being honest, that's not the most important thing. I prefer reading the text, explaining why they're giving me the 5 stars, and even making me think about what I wrote. Because sometimes critics they find other ways to think about the book that are different from mine, and that is very important for me. And so, well, reviews are very important just because I think literary critic in general is very important. So we can maintain a certain level, a certain high level around the artistic work. Well, but of course they are just a part of the feedback that I have. I also love this kind of interaction with the readers, or receiving messages on Facebook, or meeting readers in bookstores and all that. But the critics, I think it's fundamental that we let them do their job.
Okay, we just received a new one. Let me have a look at it. It's decent enough to be read here. It was fascinated to see how patient and kind and understanding is Marta, says Magda. I'm thinking that she had to balance the other characters, or why did you construct her personality like that?
Oh, I get this question a lot, and sometimes I even get this question. I don't know if this is the case, but I even get this question from people that are a little bit angry that Marta is so nice. And that makes me a little bit angry, because we are living in a world that, well, it must be so cynical for certain people, that when we have someone that is just nice, we suspect about it. We are not. We don't trust it. We think that it's not realistic. And this reminds me about a movie that I watched yesterday. It's a movie that's coming out right now. It's at least here in Portugal. It's in the theaters. It's called Past Lives, and it's American and Korean, and it's about this woman that gets in touch with her childhood boyfriend, and her husband, instead of, and she starts having, well, not she doesn't love him, but she starts having, all these feelings that come from their childhood, and she feels a very strong connection with him. And her husband, instead of being mad and saying that she can't see him and all that, he's actually very nice, and he invites the other man to their house, and they have dinner, and it's a very awkward situation, but it all happens very naturally. And I mean, people are nice, but we are so used to people being well, not nice, and being bad persons in novels and in fiction in general. That when a character is nice, we don't we think that something must be wrong. But I love the character of Marta. She does balance things in the novel.
Well, Magda also said that she loved the way you wrote about teenagers and their struggles. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that you are also writing for teenagers.
Actually, I started writing for teenagers.
I think that something happens to your earbud, because we cannot hear you. It's a problem
hear me?
with your mic. It's a problem with your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Barely. I think you touched your earbud and something happened there.
No.
The other one.
I don't know. You're not hearing me. No.
We do, but it's very bad, the signal.
Okay.
It's quite poor, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's just the signal. I'm not. Let me do something here.
A înghețat cu totul, așa-i? Nu doar eu.
Can you hear me now?
We'll keep
Yes.
quiet. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay.
That's great. Yeah, that's good now.
Sorry?
That's perfect now.
Okay, great. You were asking me about the teenagers, right?
Yes, indeed.
So I only started writing for teenagers after writing this novel. I was already writing for children, but not teenagers. But I always loved the period of a human being's life that corresponds to adolescence and all those, all the little challenges and the big challenges and all the choices and all the discovery that a teenager has to do to grow up, actually. And so in this novel, I really loved writing about those kids, those characters, and about their struggles and about the way they look at the future, which is something that I think it's very different from when I was growing up, because I don't think that when we were growing up in the 80s and the 90s, that the future was so present. I think now kids are much more aware of the future and of the uncertainty of the future. They don't know what's going to happen, but they know that something is going to happen. And I really don't remember having this feeling, having this knowledge. And so I think the kids nowadays live with a lot of anxiety because they are thinking about something for which they are not prepared to think about.
We have another questions from Ioana.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't know if I don't know if it's a question, but I remembered you talked about past lives, and I wanted to tell you that I watched Perfect Days, another Oscar-nominated movie that I recently seen at the cinema, and I found many similarities to your book. I have read half of it yesterday, and I couldn't leave it, but unfortunately today I had to work. In that film, it's such a poem of life and of misery of life that is so well balanced that I also found in your book, and I wanted to share this with you and tell you that I love both of them so much, and that you managed to do it in a style that not even that it's not typical. It's quite a special style. I'm not very fond of novels that don't use the marks in dialogues, but this one it's so easily to understand, and I know exactly where each character is, where each of them talks. I'm not confused in any of the pages, any of the dialogues you used, and I love it so much because it gives much more tension to the story and to the plot and to the characters' friendship and hatred between them, but after all, a friendship because they help each other so much, even though they seem to hate each other. And also that teenager stuff, which is, they are so fucked up. And I love this. And I love this so much because that happiness rate is even more obvious in this way. And at the first pages, I wondered, okay, what's my rate? And I was about, well, I'm being at maybe 7. When I reached the discussion of the thoughts of Daniel about his kids, and saying that if the kids are happy, I'm having 1 or more 2 points more or less if they are happy or not. I was like, yes, that's it. That's it. If my kid is happy, I'm happier. If he's not, I'm not. So I was in awe about these calculations you made when you wrote this, and I don't know if I want to ask you because it's not a secret I want to share, but it's such a great idea that I want to congratulate you. I don't know if it's mathematics, because I hate mathematics, and it gave me a calculation with a comma, and then okay, I'm not there, but I'm maybe higher, maybe lower. It depends on the stage you are in different stages of your life. It's so great. I'm so eager to finish it. So thank you so much, David. I no further questions. I'm using today because I have a dizzy mood, but I hope my thoughts arrived to you the way I wish. Maybe I will write some paragraphs after I finish the book to be more clear. But I enjoyed it a lot.
Well, thank you so much for your words, and you said a couple of things that for me are very, very special. The first one about the dialogue, not having the direct speaking, because that was really a choice that I made, and I worked really hard for all that to work, to seem organic. I really wanted, because I really wanted the book to have this feeling of the character, of Daniel's character, being very angry. He's very angry with everything. He's very angry with with the world that is falling apart, and he's very angry with his friends that are not being able to face all the adversities that the world is putting in front of them, and he's angry with himself because he's also not being able to do that, and then he starts being angry with little things, with his kids, and with a lot of other characters, and I really thought that these dialogues, that this more conservative dialogues would be like a little break in the way that Danielle was telling the story, and so I wanted it to be all in the same paragraph. I wanted it to be very fluid. That's why I did that. So, but I always had the notion that I really had to make it very understandable. So I'm very happy that you're saying that you paid attention to that. And regarding to the happiness index, to giving a number, putting a number in your happiness, I mean that is just I don't know, that's just something that I thought of. Sorry?
Theory of relativity.
Yes, but it's just something to put our minds into. It's just, I mean, I'm not. I've never done it. People always ask me what's my happiness index, and I have never answered that question because I have never answered it to myself, because I'm not expecting that people really have a number for their happiness, but it's just a way to think about happiness as I mean, in the world that we live in, we put a number in everything, so we can put a number in happiness as well. I personally don't want to do it, but if it in any way helps us to understand happiness better, to understand happiness as something very tangible, then yes, we can think about it. At least it's just a literary game, I think. What I really wanted to explore was this idea that we cannot be happy if other people around us aren't happy, and you're saying that you cannot, or I mean that if you will be more happy if your kid is more happy, but what you have to think about is that the other way around works as well. I mean, he will be more happy if you are more happy, even if he doesn't think about it, even if he is not conscious about it. So we really should think about us as a society, as we are all connected, even with people with whom we don't talk to, with our neighbors or someone that we pass by on the streets. We are all very much connected, more or less. So our happiness depends on their happiness, but their happiness depends on our happiness. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. And it's all about compassion.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's about compassion.
But literature, I'm sorry, but literature is all about we being able to feel what other people are feeling and to think of what other people are thinking. So it's all empathy.
Mm-hmm. I think it's more about some sort of emotional balance that we are all looking for. I will deliver you another message in the chat. We have Corina with a raised hand. I saw you, Corina. Just one.
Oh, it has to be the last one because I really need to go. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Then I'll just leave the chat apart, and I'm just going to Corina.
Okay.
Thank you. Hi, David. I'm so sorry it's so late. I'm going to keep it short. I know you've also written stories for children and short stories, and unfortunately we don't have them translated in Romanian. And I'm very curious of all of them.
They will come out later this year in Romania.
Yes. One for the kids, yes, true. I just realized it while I was speaking. But I wanted to ask you which style, which category was more challenging for you, and which one is more close to your heart, from children's books, short stories, and novel. And which one would you recommend to translate in Romanian next?
Well, I think I think I get different things from both genres. When I write novels, I tend to look at everything that's outside of me. I mean, at the world around me. I tend to pay attention to the newspaper and to what and to social networks and to what I see in the streets and at the world around me. But when I write for children, I don't know why I do this. It's just something that came naturally along the years. When I write for children, I really tend to look inside. So I'm very much paying attention to what I am, well, especially to what I was when I was a kid. I love splitting my work in these two different ways because on the one hand I'm looking inside, on the other hand I'm looking outside, so they actually complement each other very well. I could say that writing for children, because I'm looking at myself directly, should be more close to my heart. But actually, when I'm writing about the world, such as in this novel that we are here talking about, it's always my point of view. So it's very personal as well. It's very, and even though I was saying that I do have to have empathy and try to think and to live other lives, the lives of other people, it's always me. And so they are both very, very personal, and I cannot choose one of them. I cannot choose to do just one of them for the rest of my life. I really like my this very schizophrenic way of approaching my work.
Maybe just balanced.
Yes, it does. Keeps me balanced, and I really enjoy it. I've been doing it since the beginnings for almost 20 years that I'm going back from one to the other, and I love it like that. Oh, this year or this year and the next, there are 3 children books coming out in Romania, and maybe 2 more. We're still negotiating with the publisher, but some books are coming to Romania.
That's perfect. Because
I'm looking forward to the short story. Sorry.
Okay, right. Thank you.
We have a lot of parents here in the community, so they will look for your books. Thank you very much for being here with us tonight, David. It was really, really, really nice to have you. We will go on with the chat after you're leaving, and I'm going to get back to you with their messages. Hopefully they're not gonna be that shy after you're leaving.
No. This was perfect. Thank you so much, Liv. Very nice to talk to you again. And I hope to go back to Romania next year with the children books. So I hope to see you all, and we can chat again. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here with me, and have a nice continuation of this chat about my book.
Thank you so much for your time, David. Thank you so much, and looking
forward to
see you again.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ia uite, s-a întors și Sorina la întâlnire. Daniel ne bate din palme. Acum putem să-l bârfim și în absență. Puteți să spuneți adevărul despre carte, și anume că v-a plăcut, nu-i așa?
Da, ce mișto că el...
Da, Magda, zi.
Nu voiam doar să zic că mi s-a părut că toată bunătatea asta și empatia și toate lucrurile astea despre care se vorbește în carte sunt în el. Adică atât de minunat a fost, știi? Și îți dai seama că doar un om așa poate să scrie despre asta, știi? Că lucrurile astea, oricât ai vrea, n-ai cum să le antrenezi, să le imaginezi și nici să construiești un astfel de personaj dacă nu le simți și nu vin din tine și nu le dai celorlalți și nu ai legătură cu ele. Și asta mi se pare magic, adică la el, știi? Scrie despre ceea ce știe, dar el este un om minunat și dă din asta prin scris. Foarte fain.
Mi s-a părut că transmite aceeași chestie ca scriitorul la Bosnia, care l-a mai avut la club, bandana roșie și nu mai știu cealaltă bucată de titlu. Și da, la fel mi s-a părut scriitorul acela foarte empatic și cu foarte multă speranță în el și înțelegere pentru oameni, chiar dacă a trecut prin lucruri destul de urâte. Nu doar din cauza infarctului și a AVC-ului nevestei lui, ci tot ce i s-a întâmplat de-a lungul vremii. Și cumva, nu știu, și furia. Eu n-am citit decât 50 de pagini din carte, că a ajuns cartea destul de târziu la mine și n-am apucat să citesc mai mult. Deși Daniel pare foarte, foarte înverșunat împotriva celorlalți doi, tot îi pasă, adică se vede clar că ține foarte mult la prietenia asta, oricât de grea e viața din jurul lor. Adică trebuie să plătească ceva ce a pierdut din niște bani care nu îi are, doar să-l ajute pe nebunul la care a ieșit după 12 ani din casă.
Și încă o chestie pe care mai vreau să zic și că am vorbit foarte mult în seara asta, îmi pare rău, dar tocmai am terminat de citit cartea și sunt așa. Trebuie să vorbesc cu cineva despre asta.
De asta suntem aici, Magda, ăsta e scopul.
Extrem de mișto scrisă, deci da, absența liniei de dialog, dar personajul ăla al moldovar, care este... Cum?
Almodovar. Nu știu ce ați avut cu el, nu v-a plăcut deloc.
Da, îmi pare rău, eu așa l-am citit, că e nume lung și când citești și ești în acțiune, treci așa peste nume, știi? Știi cine e și te duci mai departe.
Eu un regizor îl cheamă la fel, e bun de mnemotehnică, dar știm despre cine vorbești, e ok.
Ok. Mi s-a părut foarte mișto că eu n-am mai citit niciodată o carte construită așa. Adică tu nu știi, ăla nu era un personaj, adică pentru mine ăla a fost vocea din capul lui și ceea ce spunea el, ce răspundea el că ar fi spus el, știi, ce știa, cunoscându-l atât de bine, îi știa reacțiile și discuțiile erau înăuntru lui și vorbea cu vocea lui și mereu personajul era în mintea lui și să-l poarte așa pe parcursul întregului roman și să fie mereu acolo cu el, știi? Și să poarte discuția asta și să lipsească șine de dialog și să fie discuțiile cu celălalt și apoi să apară, nu știu, mi s-a părut atât de mișto scris, este pentru prima dată când eu citesc o carte construită sub forma asta, nu știu cum se cheamă tehnica sau ce, dar mi s-a părut atât de inteligent pentru că e ca atunci când ți-ți vine să faci chestii și te întrebi pe tine, știi? Dar el atunci nu-și întreba conștiința. Conștiința lui era prietenul ăla care era opus, dar cu care trebuia mereu să aibă ping-pong-ul ăsta de replici, știi? Ca să-și dea și lui răspunsuri, ca să-i dea și lui dacă l-ar fi întrebat. Mi s-a părut foarte mișto construit din punctul ăsta de vedere.
Și personajul nu apare de fapt până la sfârșit, e doar in absenția.
Spoiler, Roxana, acum de față cu toată lumea care n-a terminat de citit cartea.
Nici eu!
Sau care se întreabă...
Nu e de vină, ea a zis. Eu doar am completat.
Ce ziceai, Andreea?
Sau care abia o să o cumpere și atunci chiar că ori scade de tot dorința, ori crește foarte tare. De voi depinde.
Eu sunt curioasă să văd cum se termină. O să o citesc pe toată, că îmi place.
Mie mi s-a părut, după ce am văzut podcastul cu el, mi-am făcut așa o imagine cam cum e el și cam cum ar putea să scrie și când am început să citesc, mi s-a părut exact cum a zis Magda. Bă, omul ăsta e fix așa cum scrie, doar că scrie despre niște povești atât de dure și de nașpa ca subiect așa, încât partea cea mai bună trebuie să iasă de undeva. Și chiar apropo de personajul ăsta de Marta, mie mi se pare exact la locul lui. E așa o oază de cum apare aia așa floricel și ea nu zice nimic. E bine, e ok. Cum? Dragă, te simți bine. Nu ești de un an acasă, n-ai casă, n-ai nimic. Dar e ok, noi suntem ok. Și copiii ăia care și ea își fac tap și ăia. Și pana mea, și băiatul ăla care e un monstru de adolescent. Și aia e așa. Deci aia nu e pusă cu mâna, aia e construită într-un mare fel, femeia aia. E super. De asta zic, bă, câte a gândit omul ăsta, nu ca pus
E
acolo.
de tare să poți să faci pasul ăsta înapoi și să vezi cât de fucked up sunt de fapt toate personajele din
Da.
poveste și cât de naturale par în contextul în care
Exact.
e normal.
Încât nici măcar stilul ăsta așa, deci totul mi s-a părut super natural. Cum vorbește el cu ăla din Pârnaie acolo și îi spune, păi, ce ai făcut? Boule, iar ai mai făcut asta, din cauza ta că ai intrat la Pârnaie și ai făcut asta. Foarte mișto este, da.
Hai, Raluca, nu mai sta cu mâna sus.
Bă, eu vreau să zic doar că, să nu fac spoilere acum, că am făcut la început, vreau să zic doar că celor care n-au citit, n-au apucat să citească cartea, că o să fie mai mișto pe parcurs, așa. Deci mie, cel puțin mie, personal, la început, nu mi-a plăcut, vă spun sincer. Că nu înțelegeam și cu ea ce vrea ăsta de la mine, dar s-a făcut lumină repede, așa, iar la sfârșit chiar că mi-a plăcut. Și sincer să fiu, nu mi-am pus problemele astea. Probabil că, da, depinde de fiecare cum e construit și cum ce și ea din fiecare și ea ceva dintr-o carte, dintr-un film, din ceva. La mine a venit chiar așa ca o gură de aer proaspăt. Nu știam să zic ăsta, gură de aer proaspăt. Asta vreau să-mi iasă, dar nu mi-a ieșit.
Corect.
Da.
Fresh
Deci
air.
chiar, da. Deci după mine cartea se face mai bună pe parcurs, adică până la sfârșit e și mai bună. Ca să nu vă dau spoilere.
Păi cumva și la mine a început la fel, primele pagini am zis că să vezi ce o să mă chinui și după aceea a început să devină mai interesantă și oricum m-a atras în momentul în care a ieșit ăla din casă să umble după nu știu ce mate, zice, ce face ăsta?
Da, dar personajele chiar că sunt faine, adică personajele sunt faine, dar eu vă spun sincer că eu l-am urmărit pe Daniel, deci mie după el m-am dus așa și cumva mi se părea fascinant cum poate ăla să trăiască sub masă, așa, să fie still functioning, ca să nu dau până la sfârșit, nu știu dacă ați ajuns până acolo.
O să ajungeți până acolo, it's fine.
Vreau să salut și eu, scuze, eu am
Hai,
tot
salut,
intrat, am ieșit de... A trebuit să hrănesc niște copii și trebuia să stau într-un loc unde nu prea am semnal și așa a fost foarte interesant. Eu voiam să vorbesc despre sfârșit, deci dacă suntem la faza cu nu facem spoiler, astăzi am venit să vă salut, mă bucur să ne vedem. Mi s-a părut foarte tare ce zicea Ioana adineauri. O grămadă de Marte există. Dacă te uiți cu atenție în jurul tău, e plin de Marte. Plin.
Exact. Și ce mi s-a părut foarte tare e pentru că așteptam să mă trezesc într-un background din Lisabona, din așa, eu care sunt fan Portugalia și iubesc Lisabona atât de mult și mă așteptam să văd puțin de acolo și da, m-am trezit într-un context dintre ăsta de recesiune și ce probleme mai erau acolo. Niște oameni fucked up care erau complet out of context. Și m-am trezit, stai frate, că sunt ori în România, ori sunt în Lisabona, atât de universal e creat.
Exact. A fost
o
un
Marta
pasaj,
de oriunde. Foarte tare.
exact, a fost un pasaj, că mi-am și notat pagina, că vreau să mai revin acolo. Deci mă simțeam exact la noi după Revoluție, când au ieșit de sub dictatură și sentimentul ăla de bucurie, de teamă că nu știi încotro te duci, bogăția aia, aparenta bogăție care ne-a dat peste cap. Și după aia am început să mă gândesc că, na, uite, a fost diferență între noi și ei, că noi am rămas în starea aia de ba mi-e frică, ba e, ba nu e, ba sper, ba nu sper. Ei au reușit să facă ceva cu asta, dar după aia, na, criza pe toți ne-a pleznit. Însă, da, asta mi se pare fantastic la cartea asta, că este scrisă universal, adică poți să schimbi numele, denumirile localităților și poți să găsești 1000 de astfel de personaje. Iar vorbitul ăsta cu omul din cap, eu l-am luat altfel, apropo de ce zicea Magda adineauri. Nu știu dacă aveți, eu am o relație foarte bună cu o prietenă pe care o am de la 7 ani. Avem 40 de ani amândouă și avem o relație super specială. Și eu am văzut-o pe aia ca o prietenie, o legătură atât de puternică între ei doi. Am avut o perioadă de 2 ani în care nu am putut să vorbesc cu ea. A fost un context nefericit în viețile noastre. Și aveam conversații cu ea în capul meu, pe cuvântul meu de onoare. Deci în momentul în care am început să citesc cartea, am zis, pe bune, chiar nu sunt nebună, adică se mai întâmplă și altă. What? Pe bune. O grămadă de chestii. Asta ziceam, Iona, că sunt o grămadă de Marte. Eu m-am regăsit și în Marta. Am adolescenți în jurul meu și l-am văzut pe Vasco în mulți dintre ei. Sentimentul ăla că în momentul în care ajung într-o situație de criză, oamenii, unii au tendința să facă lucruri minunate, alții au tendința să moară în picioare, iar alții se duc în situația asta de dezumanizare totală, să ajungi să faci astfel de lucruri, pierderea principiilor. Mi s-a părut super mișto. Și da, spre sfârșit mi s-a părut tot mai fain, apropo de ce zicea Raluca. Mie mi-a plăcut de la început, dar la sfârșit mi-a plăcut tot mai tare. Și gata, acum am încheiat. Am vorbit de asta de ciudă, că n-am putut să aud nici jumate din ce a vorbit omul.
Nu nimic, punem înregistrarea pe YouTube și o să poți să vezi.
Gata, mai las și pe alții. Mulțumesc că m-ați ascultat. Dar, cum zicea Magda, chiar simțeam nevoia să vorbesc. Bine, Magda, noi putem să vorbim mâine dimineață, spre exemplu, una cu alta.
Eu m-am întâlnit cu Sorina și mai aveam vreo 50 de pagini și mi-a spus citește-o, citește, cele 50 sunt importante, termină. Gata.
Da, voi mai aveți un clubul la Brașov, așa că...
Apropo de universitate.
Alo, Moldovar.
Sunt obosită, înțelegeți voi? Asta, în momentul în care s-a dus Daniel în camera lui Javier, nu știu cum să o fi pronunțând în portugheză. Așa, m-a dus cu gândul în Iași. Este un muzeu al istoriei literaturii române pe care l-am văzut cu Ioana și cu Sânziana. Și exact, numai că ăsta avea cărți și ce naiba avea pe perete, e o reconstrucție în muzeu a unei camere a poetului Emil Brumaru. Acum nu știu dacă așa era 100% sau a reconstruit-o ei pentru a atrage vizitatori. Totul tapetat cu cărți, cănile murdare de ceai și de cafea erau acolo. Zic, mamă, frate, este identic, nu cred. Mă rog, aproape identică. Javier avea cărți și tot felul de chestii pe care le desena cu tabele și tabelașe. Poetul român avea cărți.
Da, din ce am citit eu despre Emil Brumaru, multă lume. Ăsta e amănuntul pe care îl spune, dacă îi întreb ceva de Emil Brumaru, că avea peste tot cărți, că nu-i mai încăpeau cărțile. Tipatul era plin de cărți.
Da, exact. Exact așa e construită camera aia din muzeul din Iași.
Păi, eu mă bucur foarte tare că putem să ne întâlnim cu oameni din ăștia și mi se pare minunat să putem să-i descoperim și în felul ăsta, că avem această impresie că ar fi intangibil și neprietenoși și solitari și plin de orgolii și plin de ego și ce vreți voi, când de fapt ei sunt în felul ăsta și, mă rog, mie mi-a plăcut foarte tare să filmez podcastul cu el, dar mi-a plăcut și mai tare că am rămas o vreme după podcast și am vorbit despre cu totul alte lucruri decât în podcast și e un om absolut minunat și cred că o să ne placă și cărțile pe care urmează să le scoate la noi și de adolescenți și de copii și e genul de personaj pe care merită să-l urmărim. Inclusiv filmul ăsta a fost ecranizat, nu știu dacă știți, Indicele mediu de fericire.
Asta am scris eu în chat. Cum se numește? Ecranizarea. Că n-am găsit-o.
Păi presupun că poartă numele original al cărții, gen Indice mediu de felicidade. Presupun. Nu știu, dar o să-l caut și îl găsesc în chat. Îl las pe grup. El e pasionat de film și se vede și în scriitura lui că e pasionat de film. Îi place foarte tare să scrie scenarii de film, îi place foarte tare să testeze tot felul de, apropo de întrebarea Corinei, că a răspuns pe fugă acum, mi-a zis că nu poate să stea foarte mult pentru că a fugit de la o aniversare, avea o aniversare în familie și a fugit de acolo și a zis că din păcate mai mult de o oră nu poate să rămână. Dar povestește cu entuziasm despre toate lucrurile. Uite, a găsit Corina filmul. Despre toate genurile și despre toate lucrurile despre care îi place să scrie, îi place să testeze orice, e genul ăla de scriitor care n-are convingerea că scriitorii mari scriu doar roman, de exemplu. Și atunci cochetează cu absolut orice și îi plac provocările și totul e un test. Adoră copiii și de acolo și cele mai multe idei pe care le pune inclusiv în cărțile pentru adulți, apropo de ce zicea Adina mai devreme, dacă are din astea indicii ascunse prin cărți despre care se știe doar anumiți cititori, are și multe dintre ele vin din lumea copiilor și din experiența cu copiii lui, e tată de 2 copii și e un tip minunat și cred că o să-i placă să se mai întâlnească cu noi și altă dată. Cine n-a citit cartea să o citească. Merită, chiar e o experiență frumoasă și pentru mine a fost o surpriză. Îmi pare rău că s-a găsit atât de greu, dar m-am încăpățânat să păstrez propunerea asta în provocare pentru că știam că și întâlnirea cu Machado poate să fie o bună compensare pentru frustrarea cu care a venit dificultatea de a găsi cartea. Se întâmplă destul de des să vreau să propun cărți în provocare și ele să nu mai fie atât de ușor de găsit în librării sau să nu vă supărați pe mine dacă uneori insist totuși pe niște titluri pe care o să ne fie mai greu să le găsim, dar cred că e foarte, foarte mișto și experiența asta, să descoperim, ok, și scriitori tineri, și scriitori contemporani, și noutăți, și lucruri care se întâmplă pe piață acum, dar câteodată, din când în când, să ne întoarcem un pic în timp așa și să mai găsim un titlu de care cineva a uitat. Ăsta, de exemplu, este Premiul Uniunii Europene pentru Literatură 2015. Da? E o carte care în curând împlinește 10 ani. E păcat să treacă 10 ani peste ea și să o uităm, pentru că chiar uite, și voi ați demonstrat-o acum, e genul de poveste pe care o să o purtăm multă vreme cu noi. O să mai găsim din astea așa din trecut și voi nu o să vă supărați pe mine că vi le pun pe listă și o să ne vedem în continuare și o să povestim despre ele. Dacă nu mai are nimeni nimic de spus...
Ai ochelari.
Am ochelari, da. Asta e o informație foarte importantă. Mulțumesc, Roxana.
Ți-a crescut indicele de când ai ochelari?
Indicele meu crește în fiecare zi. Nu știu dacă are legătură cu ochelarii, dar o să vă povestesc o dată. Mersi, Sânziana. Vă povestesc de unde îmi crește mie indicele într-o întâlnire privată.
Mulțumim, Liv, pentru că ai facilitat întâlnirea asta. A fost minunată.
Crește indicele de cărți citite, să știi, că deja nu mai puteam. Acum nu mai am nicio scuză. lungesc lista și o să mă bucur foarte tare când o să mai găsesc autor ca Machado pe care să-i aduc la întâlnirile noastre.
Eu mă bucur că ai insistat, chiar dacă am găsit foarte greu carte, așa durat. Eu am tot stat de povești cu editura, am tot întrebat de 100 de ori și mi se părea așa, băi, ce greu ajungem la asta, Și a fost așa un sentiment când au venit cărțile, după aia când am început să citesc și am văzut că e și mișto aia, să îmi trag una, ce fain e când te lupți așa pentru ceva și până la urmă ți iese. Gata, am zis că nu mai vorbesc, dar iară m-am.
Poate te hotărăști să pui pe listă și pe Dacia Maraini.
Într-un nou episod de podcast, Dacia Maraini. O să povestim și despre ea, da.
E foarte faină și ea.
Liv, dar voi mai faceți întâlnirile alea face-to-face sau, mă rog, fizic, să zic așa, în București?
În București n-am mai făcut, pentru că e destul de dificil să sincronizăm, să armonizăm agendele. La București e mai nasol că oamenii au tot timpul opțiuni, au tot timpul altceva de făcut. Dar să știi că eu beau cafea la București cu tine dacă vii.
Vin, fii atentă ce zici, că s-ar putea să se întâmple.
Da, e bine, ia, îmi ofer.
Bine, te găsesc atunci.
Te rog, insist.
Da, că chiar vreau să ne cunoaștem așa, chiar mi-ar face mare plăcere.
Da, facem. Ce bine.
Da? Super. În curând pe micile ecrane.
În curând.
Deci la Brașov suntem norocoase, nu?
Băi, la Brașov mi-e ciudă pe voi, că eu sunt din Sinaia, știi?
Okay.
Și eu eram cam la mijloc, așa. Adică mi-e ciudă pe voi când văd alea că vă întâlniți la Brașov și eu nu pot.
Acum avem întâlnirile fizice, acum sunt la Brașov și la Alba Iulia și din martie, dar de fapt cred că o să fie din aprilie, că s-au întâmplat niște lucruri care au defazat un pic calendarul, vor fi și la Timișoara. Și anul ăsta probabil că mai deschidem pe aici pe acolo. Nu știu dacă și la Sinaia, Raluca, acum, dar dacă vrei.
Să știi că la Brașov puteam să ajung dacă eram în Sinaia, dar nu sunt. Da, mă rog.
Păi când vii, noi te așteptăm cu drag.
Păi mă așteptați unde?
Când vii în vizită.
Okay.
Vom organiza un club la Sinaia pentru tine.
La Sinaia îl organizez eu, nu trebuie să-l organizați voi. Deci aia e ok.
Invite-ne și se rezolvă. Dacă nu, ți-am zis, Suedia e oricând o destinație.
Zici? Hai, lasă că vorbim noi la o cafea.
Hai vorbim noi, exact. Bine. Mulțumesc mult de tot pentru seara asta. Vă mulțumesc că v-ați făcut timp și nu doar pentru seara asta, și pentru următoarele, și pentru alea dinainte, și pentru...
Și eu și aștept cu interes următoarele.
Super. Păi, see you soon atunci, cu provocările pe grup. Vă pup tare și vă mulțumesc.
Mulțumesc pentru intrigă și poftă de lectură. Mulțumim tare mult.
Numai bine.
Seara faină.
Seară bună, pa, pa.
Seară faină.